A quiet morning in Nashville turned into chaos in an instant. Two massive trains collided head-on on a busy track, throwing carriages into splinters and steam into the sky. Hundreds were trapped, screams echoed across the city, and America witnessed one of its deadliest train disasters, an accident that would stop a nation in its tracks. It was December 31st, 1918, and the city of Nashville was bustling with travelers returning home after the holiday season. On a single-track line, a freight train and a passenger train unknowingly shared the same path. Communication errors and misread signals created a deadly setup. As the two massive locomotives barreled toward each other at full speed, the collision became inevitable. In moments, a routine journey turned into catastrophe. Carriages crumpled like paper, passengers were thrown violently, and emergency services faced a scene of utter devastation. The Nashville train collision shocked the nation, raising urgent questions about railway safety, signal systems, and the human cost of miscommunication. Today, we revisit that fateful day to understand how a single error could halt a city and leave a legacy that would shape American rail travel forever. On that fateful morning, two very different trains carried passengers and cargo along the same track. The passenger train was filled with men, women, and children returning from holiday visits, families eager to reunite, and business travelers planning their first day back at work. Some passengers read newspapers, others chatted quietly, and children pressed their faces to the windows, unaware of the danger ahead. The freight train, meanwhile, carried heavy cargo, including coal, machinery, and essential goods for the city. Its crew worked diligently, ensuring the load remained secure and the train stayed on schedule. Both locomotives were powerful and well-maintained, designed to handle significant weight, but their combined mass and speed would make the collision unstoppable once it occurred. On board both trains, passengers trusted the railway system, confident that signals and procedures would keep them safe. The crews operated as usual, unaware that a chain of small errors and miscommunications had aligned perfectly to create a disaster. In these moments, normalcy persisted, masking the impending catastrophe that would change Nashville forever. As the two trains approached the same stretch of track outside Nashville, tension built invisibly, though passengers remained unaware. Signal operators in nearby stations were overwhelmed with holiday traffic, managing schedules and switches in freezing December temperatures. A crucial miscommunication allowed the passenger train to continue along a single track that the freight train was also occupying. The freight crew, focused on keeping their massive load on schedule, spotted the approaching train too late to react. On the passenger train, the engineer relied on signals that mistakenly indicated the track ahead was clear. Every movement, every whistle, every puff of steam brought the two trains closer together, while those aboard carried on with their routines, oblivious to the impending disaster. In the final moments before impact, speed, weight, and human error converged. The gap for reaction shrank to seconds. With neither train able to stop in time, what should have been a routine crossing became a deadly inevitability. The city below had no idea that in moments it would witness one of the deadliest rail collisions in American history. In an instant, the inevitable happened. The two trains collided head-on with a deafening roar that shook the surrounding countryside. The massive locomotives crushed the first carriages instantly, splintering wood, bending metal, and throwing passengers violently from their seats. Steam hissed from ruptured boilers, mingling with smoke and the cries of the injured, creating a scene of utter chaos. Passengers had no chance to brace themselves. Families clung to one another, while others were trapped inside crumpled carriages, calling out desperately. Luggage, furniture, and debris were hurled through the air, adding to the terrifying scene. The sheer force of the impact left the rails twisted and scattered, with some carriages pushed off the track entirely. Rescue was immediately challenging, as the wreckage blocked the line and left survivors struggling in freezing winter conditions. In mere seconds, a routine journey had transformed into a national tragedy. The collision was catastrophic, not just in scale, but in the profound shock it sent through Nashville and the entire country, making it one of America's deadliest train disasters of the early 20th century. When the dust and smoke cleared, the scene was one of utter devastation. Splintered carriages, twisted metal, and scattered cargo littered the tracks, while injured passengers struggled to escape. Families called out for loved ones, some finding them alive, others tragically not. Panic and confusion filled the air as survivors tried to make sense of the catastrophe that had struck in mere seconds. Local residents and railway workers rushed to help, forming impromptu rescue teams. They pulled passengers from wrecked carriages, treated injuries with blankets and basic first aid, and transported the critically injured to nearby hospitals. Acts of courage emerged amidst the chaos as strangers assisted strangers, carrying the wounded through snow and debris to safety. Despite the immediate rescue efforts, many passengers suffered life-changing injuries or trauma. The emotional impact of witnessing friends and family trapped or lost was immense, leaving a scar on the community that would last long after the tracks were cleared. Nashville would remember this day not just for the destruction, but for the courage, resilience, and tragedy that marked the collision of 1918. The aftermath of the Nashville collision prompted an immediate and thorough investigation. Railway officials, government inspectors, and engineers examined the wreckage, track conditions, and signal systems. Eyewitness accounts confirmed that both trains had been traveling at normal speed and mechanical failure was ruled out. The cause, investigators concluded, lay in human error and miscommunication. Signal operators had failed to properly coordinate the single-track line. Confusing or delayed messages allowed the passenger train to enter a section already occupied by the freight train. The engineers on both locomotives had relied on signals that incorrectly indicated the track was clear, leaving them with no time to avoid the inevitable collision. The investigation exposed flaws in railway communication, scheduling, and emergency protocols. Reports called for stricter operational oversight, improved signaling technology, and better coordination between train crews and station operators. The Nashville disaster became a warning for the entire American railway system. Without proper checks, even routine travel could turn deadly. It reshaped safety standards and highlighted the urgent need for reforms that would protect passengers and crews for decades to come. The Nashville train collision left a lasting mark on American railways. It revealed the deadly consequences of miscommunication and over-reliance on human coordination for single-track operations. In the disaster's wake, railway companies implemented stricter safety protocols, upgraded signal systems, and introduced more rigorous scheduling checks to prevent similar tragedies. The collision also influenced public perception of railway travel. Passengers and their families demanded accountability and safer operations, forcing authorities to prioritize technology and procedure over speed and convenience. The tragedy became a benchmark for reform, demonstrating that infrastructure alone could not guarantee safety. Human systems and oversight were just as critical. Today, the lessons of Nashville live on in modern rail standards. Advanced signaling, double tracks, automated alerts, and coordinated communication systems that drastically reduce the risk of collisions. The disaster stands as a sobering reminder that progress comes with responsibility, and that every lesson learned from tragedy has helped shape the safer railways we rely on today. The Nashville collision of 1918 was more than a train crash. It was a wake-up call. Hundreds of lives were lost or changed forever, and a city witnessed firsthand the dangers of human error on the railways. Yet from the tragedy came vital reforms, safer signaling systems, and protocols that continue to protect passengers today. If this story captured your attention, subscribe to our channel. We explore forgotten disasters, shocking historical events, and the hidden lessons they left behind. Hit the button and join us as we bring history's most powerful moments back to life.